Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. I'm Rebecca Lawrence and this is Voices. In this set of interviews, I will be focusing on issues of inclusion, diversity and allyship through intimate conversations with wine industry professionals from all over the globe. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps us cover equipment, production and publication costs, and remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
Before the show, here's the shout out to our new sponsor, Wine. Wine has been the largest wine shop in Italy since 1920. They have generously supplied us with our new t-shirt. Would you like one? Just donate €50 and it's all yours. Plus, we'll throw in our new book, Jumbo Shrimp Guide to International Grape Varieties in Italy. For more info, go to ItalianWinePodcast.com and click donate, or check out Italian Wine Podcast on Instagram.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This is Voices with me, Rebecca Lawrence, and this week I'm joined by JiYing Jamie Feng. Welcome to the podcast, Jamie. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Super excited to be able to talk to you. We just met in Verona, so this is a nice opportunity for me to get to know you a little better. I like to start most of our conversations with a little bit of an intro, asking my guest to introduce themselves to our listeners. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're currently working on.
Sure. So I was born and raised in southeast China, just the border with Russia, which means that I have absolutely no one background because I came to France to study in 2013. So I spent an year to learn French language and I started my wine journey in Reims in 2014. I finished my master's degrees in 2017 and started immediately my WSET Diploma and achieved the qualification in 2019. So currently working as a wine buyer for Nysa in Paris. And Nysa is an independent network of wine retailers having a strong identity made in Paris. So quite dynamic and modern. We tend to guide our customers to pack their moments in life with wines, such as girlfriend wines, Netflix, night fever, after work. So it is obvious that we have a French wine focus representing 90% in the selection, but also increasingly focus on Italian wines. Besides my primary job in Nysa, I'm also a wine educator and occasionally working as a sommelier in restaurants.
Wow, so you're keeping yourself busy with lots of things.
Yeah, emerging wine world.
How did you, so I was looking at the Nysa website and like you say, it's a very modern approach to wine. I love this idea of, pairing wine to moments in your life. How did you come to be involved with them as a buyer?
So actually, my professional career started at Nysa. And it was in 2017, just after got my master's degrees from Lyon, and that it wasn't my career plan from the beginning. My master's degree internship was in a bottle merchant working as an export assistant for Chinese market. And at that time, I desperately wished to be an export sales manager. Please don't ask me why I was young and innocent. So anyway, yeah. It wasn't until 6 months later that it turned out that it was not the right decision, I was tired of the paperwork, the translation, administrative work. So I moved back to Paris and I decided to start my WSET Diploma journey. And it was not an easy decision for me because it was just my third year starting one and my one acknowledged were far from doing it. So I was considering finding a part-time job to manage the intensive program of diploma. Meanwhile, I could earn some money. So it was then Nysa offered a part-time wine sales job and I attended the interview and I got hired. It's easy. Now I realized that it was such a brilliant idea to work in one shop when preparing diploma because you could taste wine and train yourself within your job in attending staff tasting sessions or tasting new wines with producers, but also access to wine fairs. So I worked really hard during these 2 years. And I devoted much of my private time, so bye-bye parties or bye-bye vacations. Yeah, I did not go back to China during these 2 years neither. It's such a big sacrifice, yeah. So diploma was the priority. Fortunately, so during my 2 years we studied, Nysa was curing rapidly as well. It's a good thing. From 9 shops in 2017 when I joined the team to 45 shops, including one shop in London, when I finished my diploma study. So just after I achieved my diploma qualification in 2019, I was promoted to be the purchasing team by recommendation. So my current purchasing manager, Charlie, I'm so happy to work with him. And coincidentally, he was the person who interviewed me for the job at the beginning. Yeah, it's a circle. So as the present day, we're 2 in the team in the world. I'm a lucky man.
That's really cool. I hadn't realized actually we have several things in common, because I came to wine in a very similar way. I started my diploma at around 3 years into sort of learning about wine, and also decided to go into wine retail for exactly that reason. You suddenly realize that you can be exposed to all of these wines, and then you fall in love with it and you end up staying.
Yeah. It was really cool because you work in shops, you establish the relations with customers, and to get this relation, and you could talk about anything or vinification technical question with the producers. It was really amazing. The 2 years I prepared my diploma, it was such a great idea to do it.
So obviously you're based in Paris, you're immersed in this French wine world. So why did you make this decision to focus on Italian wines? Because we met during your time in Verona for Via, and you're incredibly passionate about Italian wines. So is this just something that you're coming to, or has it always been something you've loved?
It's a very good question for me. You are right, Rebecca. In a matter of fact, French wine is still our main focus for Nysa. Because as in all major wine producing countries, it is no doubt that wine consumption in France comes mainly from domestic wines due to the enough quantity wine produced to meet the domestic demand. Why we increasingly focus on Italian wines? Because first, this is the most important. I love Italian wines, and I believe personally in Italian wines' potential and quality. So, in the point of a commercial view, according to an article I learned from Wine du Monde, the share of imported wines in national consumption in general keep increasing in France. And within this share, Italy occupies the first place in value for imported bottled wine market. Even about all due to the success of Prosecco, driven by the success of the famous spritz and by an effective marketing strategy. So just let me say that the quantity volume, the first country is Spain, but in value it's Italy. So Italian wines are really unfair. In addition, we have to admit that French consumption of world wines is driven by sort of cuisine. What do I mean by that? When I work in the shop, people just came around with the raw materials for dinner and requested the wine to go with. So this is the culture, is the tradition. So we could say nowadays that restaurants specializing in Italian gastronomy are sort of the main promoters of Italian wine in France. However, as a wine merchant, always looking for originality, trying to diversify the offers. So Italy is the parent choice for me, for its diversified viticulture with native grape variety, and it is amazing. Nysa is always ambitiously to be the pioneer in the French wine market, and we're young, dynamic, and modern. We have an important share of younger generation consumers. We have a real power of influence on the wines that we sell, thanks to our proximity to our customers and the bond of trust that we establish with them. So we'll try our best to drop the train to Italian wines in France and to rediscover this country for its excellent quality price ratio, the adaptability of the product to market taste, and to the last point, Italian packaging are really attractive. Honestly, French label like a little bit creativity for me. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask, like, what are the things you look for when you're selecting for the portfolio? Because it's quite a important job. Like you say, you've got this young, dynamic market. And I was going to ask, is packaging one of those things? What are the sort of other key things for an Italian wine entering the French market? What are you looking for to really hit the points for that younger drinking generation?
So you talk about the selection of Italian wines or selecting wine in general?
I was thinking particularly Italian because when I think about the French market, my sort of very limited experience of being in France is it has a huge production of wine itself, very traditional, very high quality, well thought of. And I wonder about how difficult it is for new producers from outside of the French market, so from Italy, to enter that and really gain traction, gain attention in the French market.
Just as I said, I think the advantage of Italian wine is the different diversified wine styles. And if I selected Italian wines, actually I need to highlight that the quality is the key. So this is the most important thing in a wine, and it's the first thing that we look at. So Nysa is quite open-minded, as I said. So we already have a decent wine list, the French wines. So we are not looking for wines from well-known regions or prestigious appellation producers in Italy, because we have this wine in our selection, but they are not the standards. We are looking for originality, and they keep seeking to the true lifestyle Italian wineries and hear about their histories, the sacrifice they do to make fantastic wines. And so that makes sense to me, and it inspires to me, and it really make me come out to my job. So I think this is very important. So in reality, so we're sort of immersed in the mails proposal. So just as I said, the packaging and to do the selection, the first thing is to see if the winery is interested in being represented by us. And I think this is a fair question. So I will ask them to send their presentations of the winery, the story, the wine technical sheets, or marketing materials. Because if I need I sell the Italian wines, I need everything. So and then the packaging. It's really important nowadays. Do I make sense? Because we are wine shops. So we're not like restaurants or bars that you could pursue people in telling a lovely story behind the label. So basically, when people go to shops, they tend to buy what they are looking at. This is kind of very crucial point for me. And then I will look at the presence of these Italian wines in the French market. So if the one can of Italian wine is widely distributed, and I will likely not give a chance presently for two reasons. The first is the price may be competitive, and the second is so we have a kind of limited place in the wine list. So Italian wine is not, we could not do 100 wines. So we need to find that offer original wines. So this is really important. And another point is crucial is the value is a huge consideration as well, because we want to show people, so especially the French people, the best possible examples of Italian wines for their money. So the price range is really important at this point. Another point to consider is the category about dynamic or organic wines.
Yeah, is that something that you're really seeing an interest in young drinking in France at the moment?
Parisians are so crazy about natural wines. So
yeah, I feel really started the trend for bars and restaurants and shops that particularly focus on that category. I really feel that certainly in Europe came from Paris, and it was from Paris that London got the idea to go in that direction. So I really feel Paris led the way.
Yeah, so I live in Paris, so occasionally I do the party with my friends, visit decent restaurants, and I really enjoy the dishes I ordered. But But when I tasted the wine, it's really ruined the whole thing. It's natural wine. It's the wine with force. So basically, in Paris, you have so many natural bars or restaurants. So the trend is there. But for us, Nysa, they are clearly not the top priority for us. But always presenting an added value for wines of good quality. But we are really looking for the biodynamic and organic wines because these producers respect the nature with lies or no external influence in the process, and they regard wine as a living thing and are affected the same way that all living things are. So this is very important. We have some really interesting natural biodynamic organic wines in the selection, but honestly, these are not for the commercial consideration.
Yeah, I can see that. It has a very particular place in its market. So thinking about selecting wines, and I love this really complete picture you've managed to give of all the things that you have to take into consideration. It's not just one thing. I wondered, having just been completely immersed in this tasting experience here in Verona, is there at the moment one particular Italian wine, maybe a grape variety, a DOC, DOCG, that you're particularly excited about?
If I only have one choice, I will choose Reticule for a variety because I've tasted a fabulous Reticule, per wine. It was a 2009 vintage old wine Reticule. It really convinced me, and I will definitely go for this DOC. I have an active mind, and honestly, I want to explore all the Italian wines universe to really dig into every Italian wine region and taste wine as much as I can. But broadly speaking, I love wines with a good texture on the palate. So no matter the wine how pronounced or expressive on the nose, the wine must have a great texture to show its balance with flavors or alcohol. So I am a Burgundy drinker. So I really appreciate wine with some delicateness and elegance. So I love Barolo, I love Chianti, but recently I discovered Sicilian wines and I'm totally fascinated with them. The Antona white wine has a rich texture, balanced with the vibrant salty acidity, while crisp citrus fruit flavors come out with savory and smoky minerality from volcanic cells, and white wine of Nello Muscalese as well. It hits your minds with that explosion of ripe fruit flavors that leads into spice notes with cinnamon and floral dried dessert herbs. So this is delightful and easy to drink, and I'm not going to compare Antona White to Chablis or Nerolo Muscalese to Pinot Noir because they are unique in the style and they deserve the world's attention without under the reputation of other grapes,
So I want to talk a little bit about education because I know this is something that you have started doing, and I wondered how you got into wine education and what kind of things you're doing.
I think it's a lovely story for me. So I am a qualified biological engineer.
Yep, not a natural course to then go into wine.
So because I love biology when I was in high school. So I don't know, but due to the fact that I have a bachelor degree in biological engineering, I could apply to the wine-related master directly in France. So basically, during my university, we had a focus on the macrobiological activities, especially the activity to create fermented products, such as vinegar, yogurt, soy sauce, beer, etc. So I in Guizhou University, the major really highlights the method production of maltai. So maltai is distilled spirit. It's really famous. The most famous distilled spirit in China. So when we talk about the province Guizhou, we're associated always with this renowned distilled spirit maltai, a sort of national spirit, So because maltai was burned and can only be made in the town of Malta, located in province Guizhou, considering it as an DOC. So all the raw materials, the production process, the climate, the water, the ease in the air, etc., are necessary to produce this unique style of spirit. So this point, which helped me a lot to understand the terroir notion in wines, particularly for French wines. So in parallel, I have equipped the solid knowledge in chemistry, so biological, organic, inorganic chemistry, which are really advantageous in learning wine vinification. For example, the chemical molecules responsible for wine flavors, the terpenes or hair alcohol, the esters or phenol compounds in the wines. And I'm really thankful for my biological background. And unfortunately, because one is a pharmacy product, so I just had an introductory course, and that really sparked my interest in wine, and eventually decided to start wine in France. So because I was going to the United States for this study at the beginning.
But you changed your mind, and off to France it was for the wine.
Yeah, it's not I changed my mind. It's I don't know. If you like, you search on the internet. So the top 10 least biased biological engineering schools basically were located in the United States. So it's kind of evident choice that I go to America. But that was one day my college professor called me back when I just leave in the room, and I had a little chat with me. She just posed the question that I heard that you will go abroad for the study. So which country that you choose? I just said America, and she looked at me. And she said, "Why not France?" I said, "Why France? Why France?" I don't know nothing about France. Why France? And she told me, the wine. The wine. And I have no background of wine. And I didn't know it. So the professor, she's really kind. She said the other day, she gave us this introductory course about wine. So that really sparked my interest. So I decided to go to France to study wine in France. It's really amazing because I already spent 1 year learning English, and I switched to France. Yeah, it was a really good adventure for me. Yeah.
So let's dive in a little bit to this, talking about your background in biological engineering and fermentation, because I was really excited to discover that you've been involved in Kura Master, which is the French sake competition. Now, I know this is an Italian wine podcast, but I'm someone who really loves sake. I don't know a lot about it, but I know that I enjoy it in lots of different forms. So I was wondering if you could give our listeners a little background about how you came to be involved in this and how it's different, maybe judging sake to judging other forms of things like wine.
Yeah, so it's another amazing story. It's really, so I think everyone that you made in your life, it just have a meaning, So just bring out the best in you. So I will tell the story. This is really amazing. So as to be Chinese, the right space to alcoholic beverage is not unfamiliar to me. So, but unfortunately, despite brewing technology originates from China, but it's Japan that has continuously improved this technology. So my first experience with sake, Nihonshu, was in a master class organized by One Expo Bordeaux in 2017. I have tasted different kinds of Nihonshu. Some were out of the ordinary, like sparkling sake, or Kushu vintage aged sake, or some namazake, etc. So other than the popular category Junmai, Jinju, or Junmai. But it wasn't until 2019 that I started working as sommelier in the restaurant Dame de Pic. So why do I work at a sommelier in my part-time? Because in my opinion, it is really cool to work as a sommelier in a fine restaurant, doing wine services, and making fantastic wine, food pairing, and then you persuade the customer to trust you with your wine and food pairing acknowledgement and talents in limited time. It's so cool. However, as I said, I have a biological engineering background and I passed my advanced degrees, but I knew absolutely nothing about sommeliers. So I wasn't formally trained. But it was Paz Levinson who encouraged me to give it a shot. So just after my D3 exam of diploma, the big thing, applied immediately to the certified sommelier program of the Kura Master sommelier. She taught me the wine service with her patience and just let me do the service on my very first day in Dame de Pic. Brilliant! And she trusted me. He trusted me, which gave me a lot of confidence. And as the head sommelier of Kura Pic, possessed so many titles: Best Sommelier of America 2015, Best Sommelier of Argentina 2010 and 2014. She's completely a splendid woman. It was she who made this fascinating sake for pairings, and it took years that she promoted sakes in France. So I don't know whether you have been in Dame de Pic or not.
I have not, unfortunately. I have walked past and looked in longingly.
Okay, it's the top league's most restaurant in Paris. You got to be there. You have a super team there with chef sommelier Amandine, highly organized and detail-oriented, has also good sense of humor. This is very important, yeah. So I strongly recommend it to all the listeners, so to give it a try. Yeah, okay. So I got back down the track. So, and this particular experience really sparked my interest in sake, and thanks to her recommendations as well, I've been the judge of Kura Master since 2019. So within this program of Kura Master, I got my GSI association certification in Tokyo last year. So currently I'm working at WSET L3 sake. So I'm just saying that Paz Levinson is really the person who enlightened me on this sake universe, and I'm really grateful to work with her.
It's so exciting that these two worlds came together for you. And I have to say, I've been pondering doing the level 1 in sake just to get a greater understanding, and you've really inspired me. I think I'm going to have to do it.
I think this is so different compared to the one. I don't know, you have it tasted down in sake, so what kind of style of sake that you like?
Yeah, gosh, I don't know any of the names, but I was fortunate enough to go to Japan in 2019 with a colleague of mine who is fluent in Japanese. So she was able to choose lots of different styles for us to try during the trip. And it really opened my eyes to just how different they can be, how many styles there are. And also, like you say, they're really impacted by choices of what they're produced with, how they're produced, where they come from. The water is so important. It really got me thinking about the similarities as well as the differences between sake and kind of the kind of, for example, French or Italian wines, and the tasting experience and the background. Really just truly fascinating for me.
Yeah, definitely.
This has been, Jamie, such an inspiring conversation. It's so exciting to hear all the different things you've been doing, the way you've woven your story together. You seem to never stop studying. You seem to never stop pursuing interesting things. So what's next for you on your Italian wine journey?
My near future plan is that I will reapply to the VA program next year. And I will work hard on it. I will develop Italian wine offers for Nysa. In long term, master wine is always my next destination. So the next stage after my diploma. So for me, it's so evident choice, because I do not feel comfortable when I stop learning. So I'm the person who only moves forward under pressure. So this kind of exam pressure will force me to find my potential and support the best in me, and I would regard it as a favorable pressure or positive pressure. So I really enjoying it, and I have already applied to Master 1 program this year, and I'm kind of waiting for the results. But if I get rejected this year, I will reapply the next year, because enjoying the learning journey is the most important for me, regardless of the qualification and on. But I think this, a friend of mine mentioned an interesting fact that people involved in the wine industry tend to be more passionate about their work, because people really talk about the job-related affairs after work or during their leisure time. But almost all the people that she might working in the wine industry keep talking about wines all the times. I don't know if all the wine professionals are like that, but at least for me, because for me, wine is not just an alcoholic beverage. Every time when I taste the great wine, it could evoke strongly my emotional response, and I feel so lucky to work in this field. And this is great to honor with this story. I'm a person who is powerful, driven by a desire to learn and explore, to study and share. And wine is my own one true love.
Oh, we're just so lucky to have someone who is so passionate as part of our community. And I'm very much looking forward to the day when we can be cheering you when that MW certificate comes through, because I have absolutely no doubt you have achieved everything you've put your mind to. I can see it coming.
Maybe someday I will meet someone, who helps me a lot in my journey, or master of wine, I'm so lucky.
So much for joining me on the Italian Wine Podcast today. Where can our listeners find you and what you are doing online and on social media?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, JiYing and I would be happy to chat with anyone about wines, foods. So just leave a message and it will take days, but I promise I will give a reply. So just harm me.
Guys, go and check out Jamie's pages. Watch this space. Definitely someone to keep our eye on for the future. Thank you to everyone for listening. Don't forget to follow us on social media, subscribe, and of course, donate on the website to make sure we can keep these great conversations flowing. Jamie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, chin chin.